What we've got here is an F40GT, so it's essentially a stock F40 road car that was taken to go racing in the 1992 Italian GT Championships. So the car left Ferrari, went to the first owner, Pierre Popoff, who then took the car to Michelotti in Padova to prepare it for racing in the 1992 Championships. Essentially they're a standard F40 that's lightly modified. They ran in what's called the GT class, so the key modifications to the car were lighter bodywork front and rear. We then go to these 17-inch magnesium wheels. We're running bigger brakes on the front and the rear, and underneath the front here we've got increased cooling to the brakes to get the heat out. The engine is fairly standard and similar to F40, but the main two differences: we're running greater horsepower by running more boost pressure. We run LM boost relief valve on the wastegates and a race exhaust system as well. The interior is very familiar. All that would have changed in period, of course, is the fact that we would have been running one seat, and other than that, it's a fairly stock standard F40. Very quick in period. This car did 27 races in 3 seasons. It won twice, and it podiumed 7 times. One of the most successful cars, and ran as part of the Ferrari Club Italia team, which were 3 cars running this similar Brummel livery. If we contrast across from this car, which is essentially a standard F40, then went and did a lot of racing, what we've got here is one of just 19 original Ferrari factory LMs. These cars were built as a pure race car in period, initially to go racing in the FIA GT Championships. As LM suggests, it stands for Le Mans. It was meant to go and race at Le Mans in period, but the rules changed, and so the cars went to the States and raced in the IMSA series, where perversely they had to put more weight back into the cars and run restrictors on the turbos to get the power down. To contrast the two cars, this car is about 200 to 250 kilograms lighter than a standard F40, and the power's up from 478 in a stock F40 to 780 brake horsepower without the restrictors and the LM. So you've got a very, very quick car. It's a totally different car underneath. The chassis is built by Michelotti from new. The car sits a lot lower. The engine sits lower in the chassis than the standard F40. We're running bigger intercoolers on here. The exhaust system here is the same as the Ferrari 641 Formula 1 cars on there. Bigger wastegates on the turbochargers, and again more venting to get the air out, get the fresh air into the car for the turbos and get the hot air out the back of the car. They sit a lot lower. Everything on the car is bespoke to the LMs here. The biggest obvious difference is this different fully adjustable rear wing we've got now, which you can just adjust for the downforce of different tracks. We've got on the back here the little gurney flap here to get the air in the back of it. Down here you've got the connections for the air jacks that are built into the car, and down here the bottom, the rear diffusers to get the ground effect working in the car and settle the car down to the ground. Other than that, it looks quite similar to an F40. Inside the car, it looks pretty familiar to start with, but what we'll see when we get up close is the dash here is a dash taken really from the Formula 1 cars of the time. Fully digital dash in the interior here. Exposed fuses for racing so we can get into changing more quickly. The gearbox is significantly strengthened from a stock F40. Every component's a lot stronger, as you'd imagine. In period, these cars didn't do a lot of racing when they were new, but then with the BPR Championships coming out in '94, they were racing against the McLaren F1s and the GT1 Porsches, and I think what's often missed out is they were by then an obsolete design, but so often these cars were on pole and fastest lap. Very, very, very quick car.